Hey, it's Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. I want to give a back brief on the Spirit of Liberty conference that I attended this past Saturday down in Detroit. I was one of the speakers, and I learned some interesting things, but I need to clarify a few things. In the speech that I gave, I talked about oath of office, right? And let me make it perfectly clear. The oath of office was pertaining to the Attorney General of our state of Michigan. His name is Bill Schuette. He violated his oath of office and violated my constitutional rights 3 different times: the First Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, and the Eighth Amendment. First one is freedom of speech. We did depositions, and then his office put a gag order on it, so we were not able to, freely give out information that was done in a public forum. Second was the Department of Natural Resources sought to depopulate or destroy my animals. That's a violation of the Fifth Amendment that says that my life, my liberty, my property is protected under due process of law. They don't have law. They have an order that came from Rodney, my main man, Stokes of the DNR, and the Eighth Amendment, which states that American citizens are free from excessive fines, cruel and unusual punishment. And the Attorney General's office actually fined me $700,000, $10,000 per animal, and it was a threat. If you don't get rid of them, we're going to fine you this. Bad news. Now, if Attorney General Bill Schuette had respected the oath of office that he took, remember, he raised his right hand and he says, "I do solemnly swear to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States from all enemies, foreign and domestic." If he had done that, he would have said to the DNR, "Look, you can't take this guy's stuff just because you say so. There has to be a law, and that means that there has to be a bill presented to the legislature, and it has to make it all the way through there, through the Senate, and then go and get signed into law by the governor. And our representative people can winnow that whole request." And, it was absolutely ridiculous. Any pig with a straight tail or a curly tail is illegal. That's ridiculous. And the premise of the whole thing was ridiculous, too. They said they want to prevent the spread of feral swine in the state of Michigan. Nobody even sees them. I mean, I had a pretty good-sized crowd on Saturday, and I asked the crowd, as I always do, did anybody see a feral swine on the way to this thing? And no. Did anybody see one in the last month? No. Has anybody ever seen one? No. Nobody had seen one. Bill Schuette's personal secretary, Sharon Lolio, wasn't there. I'm sure if she was there, she would have related the story about her Uncle Tony that seen one back in '73. But anyway, I contend that violating one's oath of office is a very bad thing. And I related my own career in the military, where I take the oath of office 5 times in my 20 years. And at the end of my 20 years, I got an honorable discharge, which indicates that I fulfilled my oath of office and I did not violate it. And just in one case, the Attorney General has violated it 3 times, possibly more, because all of the threats that were given to the people that work for me and the people I do business with, that is a violation as well. I don't want to say too much about that because it gets... it's a little bit more complex. They're not just violations of the first 10 amendments, which is the Bill of Rights, and I like to keep it simple. I don't think the guy has to have 5 and 6 violations. I think 3 is fine. I think 1's too many. Let me make it perfectly clear. These guys that we elect to public office like to call themselves public officials. They are not public officials. They are public servants. That means, who do they serve? They serve the people who elect them. The Attorney General's position is an elected position. He's elected by the people of the state of Michigan. This guy happens to be a Republican. I don't care if he's purple. It doesn't make any difference. He's violated his oath of office, and I have a problem with that. Now, in this group of people I was briefing, I asked them, who else has a problem with that? Just about everybody in the room said they had a problem with that. I asked the room how many people in this room had taken an oath of office, and it was about 5%, I would say. I said, who would like to take an oath of office? About 95% of the people in the room, their hands popped up quick. And I said, who'd do it right now? They stood up. And I administered an oath to about 100 people in that room. And all the while I was doing it, there was a picture of Bill Schuette on the screen. And I identified him as an oath breaker. I identify him as an enemy of the U.S. Constitution, and I stand by that. Now, I made a statement, and I said that I think that he should be hung from the neck politically. I added that on, and it was, ooh. And I've taken a little flack from that in the media since. But let me clarify that. No, I think he should be hung from the neck, period. Right? I do. Only problem is we don't have laws that penalize politicians for breaking their oath of office. I'm telling you that I think somebody who breaks their oath of office should be penalized. And in the fashion that he did it, premeditated, with malice intent, yeah. If you know what my family went through, I don't have a problem saying I think that guy should be hung. I don't have a problem with that, and I'll back it up. Got a problem with it? Deal with it. But that's how I feel. Got a lot of response on that. Now, maybe we're not going to execute people for violating oath of office maliciously, but I think we should relieve them of duty, to say the least. Relieve them of duty and then take their retirement from them. Now, how would it be if all the politicians down in Lansing knew that that sword of Damocles was hanging over their head? If they violate their oath of office with malice, that they could be removed from office and they'd lose their little retirements, you know. I think that would be good. So we're working on that, but I want to put this message out there so when you hear it, you say, oh, I understand, you know, oath of office. These guys have to follow their oath of office. What is their oath of office? Think about it. To protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. I am going to encourage you again to go through, download that, the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. Take you 10 minutes to read through it. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. It doesn't matter to me. It shouldn't matter to you either. Everybody, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, feels as though they have the right to free speech. Everyone feels as though that their property and their liberty and their life should be protected under law, not under the whims of some of these foolish departments that have popped up all over the place. I think everybody feels as though they shouldn't have soldiers quartered in their home. I think everybody feels as though they should have the right to own and bear arms. It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Anyway, that's what I said.